Going through a divorce, or if you're getting married and having a premarital agreement, that is a huge transition. There's a ton of literature that the stress of that process is very difficult for folks. And so helping people through that transition is enormously rewarding, and people are incredibly grateful. One woman sent me homemade jam for about 20 years every Christmas because she so appreciated the help. And the other thing that's interesting, and particularly in doing family law, I started out doing real estate, but when I did family law, particularly doing divorce cases, it occurred to me that I didn't have to personally make every mistake in a relationship myself. I could sort of learn a little bit by a peek under the tent of other relationships. We've never had anybody call this firm, and we're not our 36,000th case, and say, my relationship is just so terrific with my spouse that I'd like to get divorced. That's not what happens. People call and they're in pain, they're scared, they just don't know what to do, and you can hand them this lifeline. And if you handle it sensitively, their next chapter is much better. You can really be part of the healing process. When I'd been practicing law since 1975, and in 1993, the Oregon legislature created a thing called the Oregon Task Force on Family Law. The then Governor Roberts, was kind enough to appoint me, and then her successor, Governor Kitzhaber, reappointed me to continue. I did that for 4 years, and that Oregon Task Force on Family Law created the legislation that basically made all of the procedures which we now follow to do family law, family courts, mandatory parenting plans, parenting time enforcement, changed visitation to parenting time, and I could go on for 20 minutes. The successor institution to that was the Statewide Family Law Advisory Committee, which advised the Chief Justice on family law matters as well as the state court administrator. I served as the vice chair of that for 22 years. The chair was always a judge, and I was appointed by 4 chief justices along the way through those 22 years to serve in that capacity. In fact, I'm still on the Futures Committee of the Statewide Family Law Advisory Committee. I keep trying to resign, but they won't let me, which is flattering, but someday that'll happen. 2004, I was privileged to get an award for the most pro bono hours expended by any lawyer in private practice in the Oregon State Bar. And most recently, I'm very involved in a thing called SAGE, which a prominent lawyer by the name of Ward Green started a few years ago. SAGE is Senior Advocates for Generational Equity. And I make talks to Rotary clubs and so forth, trying to break down political polarization. Well, we've had various speakers here who've done a terrific job too. So I've been very involved in that community project and many others.